Thank you so much for everything you've been doing and making this happen. We're so excited.
Gonna be
And
fun.
This is Claire at Falvey. She's my lead alto.
Hi, lead alto.
Hi.
Yes.
We have a few questions. Can you share a little bit about yourself? Like, what do you play and where have you performed?
I grew up doing my brothers. Where did Deborah go?
I'm right here.
There you go. Okay, you came out. Okay, so my brothers were in a drum and bugle corps called the Saints from New Jersey. My father helped start it. In the local church, there was a bulletin that they were starting a drum and bugle corps out of the church called the Saints, of course. And my brothers joined. I was like 7 years old. I was way too young. So I wanted to be as cool as I thought my older brothers were. So as soon as I turned 9 years old, I went and I joined the drum corps. Or I should say they let me go into the drum corps. And I learned how to play. And, I was this little kid. And I did that all the way, into my 20s. The corps that I was in had disbanded for financial reasons, and I had joined the cadets. So I went on and I was in the cadets for a number of years, and I went back last year and this year. I teach the cadets now. I also teach the crossmen from San Antonio, Texas. So I'm still giving back to the activity that way. So I got my start, playing in the drum and bugle corps. I am a trumpet player, by the way.
Yeah. Is there a reason why you picked the trumpet, or did you just like?
My oldest brother, that's what he picked, and he was, he was the guy for me. I wanted to be as cool as I thought my oldest brother was. So I wanted to be, like. And then when both my brothers were horn players, and then I was the little guy. I was 9, he was 12, and he was 15. So they would bring, like when my parents would go away, don't tell my parents, they would bring all their friends over to our house, when my parents were home, and they would make me, like they would, be getting in trouble. And they would make me go and get my horn out, and they would make me play in front of all them. And when I used to make mistakes, they would like beat me. So, yeah. Well, but I'm laughing now because this has been my job for like 40 years,
You got the last laugh on that one.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So, second, who can you explain like the Brothers of Funk? Like, who are they? Like, how did it start and everything?
Yeah. So I was the okay. I did the drum and bugle corps thing, and then when I was really young, like, oh my God. Like 15, 16, I got a call from a guy wanting to know if I wanted to join a rock and roll band. And I was like, sure. I had no idea with it. And it was through a guy that was in the Saints, Glenn Skarzinski, who was the mutual friend. And it was John Bon Jovi was the guy that called me, wanted to know if I wanted to be in this band, the Atlantic City Expressway. So I said yes. And I went to do that. And I was we had a band when we were 15, 16 years old. You can find pictures on Facebook of us when we were kids. And I toured with, I still talk to John. I toured in the Slippery When Wet tour with Bon Jovi, 1986, 87. But, I was playing in all these bands. Through that, you get another group, you get another band. I play with Tower Power and Santana and the Rolling Stones and Bowie and Sting. And, I did the David Letterman show for 17 years. So after a while, I was always the side guy. I was always the back guy. And my father was a country and Western singer. He used to call himself Chet Peters instead of Peter Chez, okay? Because it sounded more country, So
totally does.
Yeah.
So he had passed away, but he always wanted to like front his own band. So after I was kind of established and doing Letterman, I wanted to fulfill my father's dream. So I started a band of my own. So I started off and, I got a bunch of guys and I started off with 17 guys in the band. because I'm used to the drum and bugle corps and like everybody being around, and like the jazz band or the marching band in school, and I felt comfortable with the numbers. After a while, I got rid. I shouldn't say I got rid of all the great players, but I definitely shouldn't say that, because everybody, after a while, everybody can play. All these guys can play. But what I did is I kept my friends. I kept the guys that I love, the guys that I want to hang out with, the guys that I want to go on an airplane with and go on the road with, So these guys are my brothers. These are my friends, and we go out and we make music together now. So I'm kind of fulfilling my father's dream of fronting a band. So that's where the Brothers of Funk came from.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. Is there a reason why you work with schools and young musicians?
Yeah, I was very fortunate. I've been doing this for a living, my gosh, since I was 15 years old, so a long time. And I just think we owe, I think a couple things. First of all, I think we're never done learning. And I think the smartest man in the world, the first thing he'll tell you is that I don't know everything. And I was fortunate enough to be asked through Yamaha to do clinics in the schools. And when I did the clinics in the schools, I kind of learned something about myself. I learned something about the students, and I learned something about humans. And I really like that. So it's not just me giving back to the students. I get something out of it too. And I get the interaction of the students. It's just a great thing. It's a great trade-off. You know what I mean? And I love doing that.
Yeah, that's so cool. Like, I'm honestly really excited for you to come, because like we've never had like this kind of experience before, to like
Cool.
have like someone new come in. So I'm actually really excited. So
Me too.
yeah. Who would you think your biggest influence in music is?
Biggest influence in music. That's a tough one. Like, I listen to I'm not a jazz guy. Okay. I'm a trumpet player who doesn't play jazz. I grew up in rock and roll bands. You know what I mean? Like I said, I played with Bon Jovi, and I played with Tower Power, and I played with Bowie and the Stones and Snoop Dogg and Flavor Flav and Jay-Z. I never really, I didn't play with a lot of jazz guys, and I never listened to it. If I'm going to listen to something, on the radio, I'm going to listen to like, deep soul music, Curtis Mayfield and James Brown, or, stuff that I call it the music of my people. Okay. The stuff that I listen to that I'm just like, oh my God, Leon Russell and Ray Charles and stuff like that, so them all combined, created my musical influences. Plus, if I was going to say a trumpet player, I would say Louis Armstrong. And Louis Armstrong, not because of the way he played or the notes that he played, but Louis Armstrong, he kind of created scat, and he kind of, I don't know if he created jazz. You'd have to ask the historian. But one thing about Louis that was cool, that was he was unique. Okay, now you're the lead alto. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm the lead trumpet. I don't want to really sound like anybody. You know what I mean? I don't want to sound like Maynard Ferguson or Bill Chase or Miles Davis. I want to sound like me. I want other guys. I want other cats to try to sound like me. I want you to listen to the radio, and I get this all the time. Like a track that I played on or something, a guy will call me and say, "Man, I heard this track, and I knew it was you from the first note you played." I love that. Yeah. And I got that from Louis, not trying to, stay in that box, not be what you're supposed to be, to create your own piece of art and let everybody else fall into your box.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. Yeah, I honestly, like, I want to try to do that too, like as a saxophone player.
Yeah, definitely. Why try to sound like somebody else? Use those influences,
Yeah.
like, there's like, if I was going to play like a Miles, like a regular blues scale. I'll use the influence of the blues, but I'll twist it to make it sound like me. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
want to be me. I don't want to copy. I want to originate.
Yeah. So what are you most looking forward to when you come to Palmac?
Meeting the wonderful students and hearing their exceptional accents. Giving back, seeing people. Okay. Immortality. Okay. The fountain of youth is education. This is Miss Davis. This is what it is. This is the you teach somebody. I teach you something that affects you. You go on. You teach somebody. They teach somebody. It keeps going down. It's the way to keep that. Keep that ball rolling. Keep that. Pay it forward. Kind of say, but not just pay it forward. It's also somebody taught me. Okay. Somebody threw me the ball. Now I can keep the ball and I can go home, or I could throw it to somebody else. I dig throwing it to somebody else and keep the game going. So
just a question about the brothers though, real quick.
Yeah.
How did you get connected? A lot of them are from Rochester, right?
Okay. Here is
what is your connection to you're Jersey? How did you?
This is a great story, and I don't know if I've ever told this story in public before. Okay. So here you go. So
okay.
I was in Hilton, New York.
Yeah.
Okay? A band director named Jared Strife.
Okay.
Okay. And I did a clinic for him. And he says, this is a true story. So he comes up and he says, we're going to do a clinic and I want you to do a concert. And I was like, great. Play with the band or whatever, And he goes, no, I'm going to put a big band together. And I was like, all right. He goes, what tunes do you want to play? So I took a shot and I picked a bunch of rock and roll tunes. And we found, at that time we found charts for him, and we did a concert just like we're doing at your school. So at the concert, there was a gentleman called Frank Malfitano, and Frank Malfitano hosts the the Syracuse Jazz Festival. Okay. And which it went inactive for a couple of years. They're bringing it back. So Mr. Malfitano was at the concert. So he comes up to me and goes, man, the big band sounds great. I want to hire you to play my jazz festival. How long has the big band been together? And I said, well, it's been together about 2 years. But I had just met these guys that gig.
Oh my God.
That was the first time that I met most of them or played with them or any of this. Yeah. So I said, I didn't want to say to the guy, well, I just met the guy. So I said, no, we've been together about 2 years. So we played the jazz festival and I hired all the guys that were in that big band from Rochester. And we went and we absolutely killed. Okay. After time goes on, I'm a very loyal guy. Okay. Very, very loyal. So if you love me, I love you kind of deal. All right. So the guys that helped me start the band that were in this, as long as they wanted to be in it, you're in it. And I still got guys that are still in the band. So they're guys that I love, and I thank them for getting us started. So it's kind of a thing of in the back of my mind, starting my father's dream of fronting a band. And then when this guy said, we're going to put this big band together, and then the guy says, oh, we want you to play this big jazz festival. I'm like, boom, there you go. So that's why, that's why I have all the Rochester guys, and a bunch of them. Like I said, Bob and John, Viavatne, the original guys from the first gig.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, that we did. Brian King and Jimmy Steele, and there was a bunch of guys from up there. That whenever they can, because a lot of them are school teachers and stuff. I'll sub out my regular guys, and I'll have the loyal guys that helped me start this come back. So that's why I got a bunch of Rochester guys.
That's awesome.
And the Rochester people, the people that live in your area, are some of the. I've been all around the world a couple times. Okay, and I live in New Jersey. Not the nicest people in the state of
Really?
New
I
Jersey,
didn't know that. Oh my gosh.
but the people up in Rochester that I've met and that I've hung out, some of the nicest people that I've ever met, and you're very fortunate to live up there. Sometimes when you're just walking around, take a good look around, and it's a beautiful part of the world and some of the nicest people I've ever met. So you guys are very fortunate.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What are we gonna hear from these brothers of funk?
What are we gonna hear from the?
And when
Yeah.
you come to Pell Mac and you hit the stage, when you guys take the stage over, what are we feeling? What are we hearing? What's the energy? What should we be ready? What should we prepare ourselves for?
Yeah.
You're gonna sing, you're gonna dance, you're gonna yell, you're gonna feel, you're gonna think, you're gonna remember. It's all the thing. Here you go. This is music. It's rock and roll based music, but it's all music that hits you in the soul. Okay, it's not soul music. Some of it is soul music, but I played in a band from San Francisco, Oakland, California, called Tower of Power. Great horn band, and I played with them for a couple of years. And Doc Kupka is the baritone player, and he would take his baritone sax and he would put it right here, and he would blow the low note on the baritone sax, and he would say, and it would go through you could feel it through your whole body, and he would call it, that was a soul vaccination.
Yes.
Right? Now there's a Tower Power song called Soul Vaccination. That's actually what a soul vaccination is.
I didn't know that's what it was. I've been listening to that for decades.
Now you know. My music, I try to do the same thing. I try to do the music without putting the horn on the thing, but I want the music to come in you, and I want you to feel. I want to bring you back to another time. I want you to think. I want you to remember. I want to affect you, and not just, that's a great beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a high note. No, there's more to that. You know what I mean? I want it to go through you. So that's what we do.
It's gonna be awesome. And so, just kind of in closing, then, coming off of these last couple years, how does it feel being out there playing again and making the music and getting in front of audiences?
Oh, I love playing live. I'm a live guy. There's nothing about that. Me talking to you two is great. Before we got the camera ready and we had some technicalities, getting the camera going, the conversation is not the same. You know what I mean? Now, us in front of each other, even though it's on the screen, even live is a whole nother dimension. There's something, there's that interaction between humans, you know what I mean? And we miss that, the whole pandemic. Oh my God, just horrible. But the worst thing was the human interaction. We need each other. We need each other. We need to be in the stores, in the clubs, and we needed to go back to school. We needed to do all these things because humans need other humans. We're not like you see a fox out in the woods. There's like one fox. That's not us. That's not us. We need others around us, to interact and stuff. So I can't wait. I've been bottled up in New Jersey. We've done sporadic gigs here and there, but every time I go out and do something, I absolutely love it.